Very good evening, guys. Can you please confirm if I am audible? Guys, am I audible? Okay, great. Fine. So let's start with the session straight away. So today's sessions, I thought to take both functions and graph, but later on I realized that I was too optimistic about the duration in which I could complete this. So to justify the learning for this session, what I did is that I restricted myself to taking functions, and within functions to a specific kind of things which has become a trouble area for most of the people, even if you have a math background or not, right? So it's some certain kind of question which appear in mocks or in CAT exams. Many of you uh, feel it difficult to solve them, right? And to learn the function, it is very important to understand what is the domain of the function. It may not necessarily require to find the solution. The knowledge of domain is not very much required, but yes, it's just a kind of ritual to understand the function. The first thing which we do is to understand the domain, so that the basic thing should not be skipped, right? So what is function? So I'm just taking a couple of minutes to make those people understand who have very elementary or no knowledge about the functions, right? So function is nothing but a way in which two variables are linked together, right? So if I say that y is equal to x square, then x and y are variable and they are linked together. So that whenever I take any value of x, say if I take the value of x to be 2, the correspondingly I'll be getting some value of y, which in this case is what? 4. So such kind of relation is called function. I'm not very much technically correct because mathematically there are certain difference between functions and relation, but let's do not get into it because that is beyond the scope of CAT. For understanding for a layman terms, this much is sufficient. So this y is usually represented as f of x. Okay, so whatever I'm saying right now is just a practical thing which we have to keep in mind. Do not compare it with what is given in the book in an academic format, right? So that's why I said that we are here to learn how to solve the questions which appear in CAT rather than understanding the nuances of the functions. Okay, so in this session, the second half is very important, although the first half is also important, but second half is more important. The reason being is that in that case I'll be giving you some practical tips that how do you analyze a question on functions which appear, and how to predict that what could be the format in which the function would be, and that would be helpful to solve the question. Otherwise many a time it is too difficult to solve at the test level. ठीक है, उसमें जो pressure होता है, it is very difficult to handle that time. ठीक है. So what is domain then? So domain is nothing but all possible values which x can take. ठीक है, all possible values which x can take, so that y is defined or y is definite, I would say. ठीक है. For example, if I take say y is equal to 1 by x, then I can say that if this is the function, then x cannot take the value 0 because 1 by 0 is not defined. ठीक है, हमने कैलकुलेटर में भी देखा होगा. If you press 1 divided by 0, you'll be getting an error, right? So that's the meaning of being not defined. So there are certain format of numbers which, when they are put, they are not defined. For the first thing is that nothing should come, or the zero should not come in the denominator. Okay? In case if the zero comes in a denominator, then the thing becomes not defined. This is the first thing. The second is, which we should remember, is anything within the under root part, it has to be non-negative. Either it should be positive or it could be zero, but it cannot be negative, because the negative value is a imaginary value, and whatever we are dealing in functions or for syllabus as such, or so-called syllabus for CAT, everything is real unless stated, but I haven't seen any question wherein it says that the variable can be imaginary also. It is assumed that whatever we are discussing related to variable they are real numbers. ठीक है, तो ये दो चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, that nothing should be divided by 0 and nothing should be, no negative value should be under the radical sign. This is sufficient enough. 99% cases you will just be needing these two things to ascertain that the thing is defined or not, right? So what is domain? So domain is all possible values of x for which this thing is defined, right? So what we do is that we try to figure out that apart from all the possible real values, what specific value or values are there for which this thing is not defined. ठीक है, उसको फिर हम माइनस कर देते हैं फ्रॉम द रेंज ऑफ द रियल वैल्यूज एंड वट एवर कम्स by deducting the things for which the expression is not defined, that becomes the domain. So in this case, just to test, we can say that since the thing is under root, since the thing which is in the under root is also the denominator, we have to ensure that x square minus 1, the under root part, should not be equal to 0, right? And since it is in the under root, then x square minus 1 should be greater than or equal to 0. So if I combine both, then I can say that we have to figure out that x square minus 1 should be greater than 0 on combining these two. Are you all getting this, guys? If x square minus 1 is greater than 0, then both this format can be negotiated effectively. Yes or no? I'm just waiting for your confirmation, guys. Those people who are bond, they can just have some patience, because I got many requests that I should at least explain the basics of functions, right? Okay. So now we have to solve this. We have not arrived to the answer. We have to solve this. So x square, in fact, let me take this part. X square minus 1 should be greater than 0, or we can say that x minus 1 and x plus 1 should be greater than 0. Now this thing can be solved if I take that the value of x should be greater than 1 or the value of x should be less than minus of 1. ठीक है, ये inequality का part है. So whenever we'll discuss inequality, मैं थोड़ा और इसको elaborate कर दूंगा. But for the time being, since we are discussing functions and we have to respect the duration of this session, I'm presuming that most of you should understand this. जिनको नहीं समझ में आया, उतना कुछ ज़्यादा difficult नहीं है. We can have this session separate for this. ठीक है? So this up. So you can see that if x is greater than 1, then the thing will be defined, or if x is less than minus 1, then the thing will be defined. Okay. Now how to write it? It will be written like this: from minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. This is how the things are written. Okay. I hope I am clear, guys. You have understood what is domain. This is what you need to do practically. ठीक है, बाकी बहुत ज्यादा उसके academic portion में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है, and in CAT asking for domain of the function has never been an important thing. ठीक है, they ask you a practical question related to functions, which we are moving towards it, right? चलिए. So the second question is for you. I'll give you a minute. Just try it out. Try to figure out the domain of the function. Okay, I'll be on mute for a minute and then we'll discuss this. Okay, so let's solve. Now we have to find the domain of the function. So each part should be such that it is giving us a definite value of the function. Now if you look at the denominator, then we have to ensure that the denominator x² plus 3x plus 2 has to be not equal to 0. right? So let us figure out for what value of x this is equal to 0. So usko deduct kar denge, right? So here we can say that this is nothing but x plus 1 and this is x plus 2 is equal to 0. So thereby I am getting the value of x to be minus 1 and minus of 2, right? So for these two values, the denominator will be 0. So we have to deduct this. So out of all the real number, we have to deduct minus 1 and minus 2. ठीक है, इनको अपने को डिडक्ट करना होगा so that the denominator should be a non-zero number, right? Now in the numerator it is log, and we know that logarithm of anything has to be or in fact we don't find logarithm of a negative value, right? We only find the logarithm of a positive value. So here x plus 3 should be greater than 0. So thereby we can say that the value of x has to be greater than minus 3. ठीक है? So x should be greater than minus 3. So this much portion is talking about that the range is minus 3 till infinity, and from there we have to deduct minus 1 and minus 2 as an element. So here we can see that option C is the perfect domain for the given function. ठीक है? So good, I'm getting the right answers from you all people. ठीक है? चलो, कुछ लोगों का क्वेश्चन भी था that how the session this is going how the crash course session when we start after this free session will go ahead. The session will be held in a Zoom platform, ठीक है? And you'll be registered in a package which you will enroll if you enroll for that, and there you will be getting the link for that session. ठीक है? Session जो होगा Zoom में होगा. Apart from that, we have a dedicated WhatsApp group for the doubt clearing sessions. ठीक है? And the session duration will be 1.5 hours, and we'll be sharing the questions before the session so that you get enough time to solve them, so that we can save time during these sessions, and obviously we will be able to do more questions there. ठीक है? अभी मैं इसलिए नहीं कर पा रहा because I don't know that how many of you are just coming after going through the link or getting some kind of notification, and that's why I'm giving some time at least to read the question. ठीक है? चलो, तो ये तो हो गया डोमेन वाला, यही बेसिक चीज रहती है. इसके अलावा बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, but you don't have to bother much about it. Take things one by one. In today's session, I'm not doing complete session on functions, but I'm giving you some input which are very very vital, very very important. इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन जो आते हैं वो उसकी तादाद ज़्यादा है. ठीक है? They are quite frequently appearing in calc, so you have to keep in mind that how to solve them. Now let's move to a very important cat-like questions, I would say, ठीक है, or ambient trace-like questions, wherein the function is piecewise function. ठीक है? So this is an example of piecewise function. I'll give you a couple of minutes to try it out, 1 or 2 minutes. Just try it out, and during the solution I'll also explain what is piecewise function and how to deal, what are the approaches we should follow. ठीक है? So again I'll be on mute for a couple of minutes. Please solve. Okay, fine. Now, what is piecewise function? Piecewise function is defined, as the name suggests, it is defined in certain domain. The function is defined differently, or depending upon the section, the function is defined differently. For example, here the piecewise function is that when x is even, the function is defined as x by 2. But when x is odd, the function is defined as x plus 1, right? One more example which I can share is that say f of x is equal to 2 of x for x less than 0, and it will be x square minus 1 when x is greater than 0. So this is also a piecewise function. So here we can see that depending upon what is the domain, the function is defined differently, right? So if I want to draw this particular function, then I have to draw these two graph on their domain. So x less than 0 means in the negative part, the function will be y is equal to 2 of x, right? So what is y is equal to 2 of x, guys? When x is equal to 0, y is 0, right? When x is equal to minus 1, y is equal to minus of 2. So it will be something like this. Yes or no? It will be a straight line like this. Correct? And for x greater than 0, it is x square minus 1, which is a parabola, right? So it will be for x equal to 0, this is minus 1. And for x is equal to 1, this is 0. So something like this. The function would be defined like this. Or if I draw it graphically, it will be like this. Okay? So this is what piecewise function. So whenever a piecewise function comes, practically these questions are easy. When I say easy, definitely you should know that what are piecewise function, and certain number of practices also required. These are easy questions because you don't have to apply any concept. Everything is given and defined. You have to just follow basic method of solving that piecewise functions depending upon their definition. और कुछ नहीं करना होता है. So such questions are purely mechanical question. You have to just follow what is stated and you will be getting the answer. So I'll rate such kind of question on a easier side. They might take some time, but usually you will be getting the answer. You don't have to bother much about any formula and all. ठीक है. And it has been very very popular in MBA entrance exam. आप CAT के पुराने papers वगैरह देखो, so you'll find that within functions there are considerable number of questions which can be categorized as piecewise functions. ठीक है. So there is no additional concept for piecewise function. The only thing is that you have to approach as it is given. So here the question says that if x is even, then it is defined as x by 2, and if x is odd, then it is defined as x plus 1. And we need to find f of x, which is equal to 19. In fact, it is given. We have to find that for how many value of x it is possible, right? So what we have to do is that we have to focus from this number. This is an odd number, guys, right? Now why I'm taking even and odd thing, because the function itself is talking about even and odd. कई लोग पूछते हैं सर आपको कैसे पता चला कि even odd का करना है? भाई क्वेश्चन में लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है? So anyway, I have to take some directions, so I'll be taking some hint from the question itself, right? Now if this is odd, for example, if I say f of t is equal to 19, and this function is defined something like f of t is equal to t by 2 when t is even, and t plus 1 when t is odd, right? And if it is 19, that means the function itself, the value is 19. What can I say about the value of t? Can you please suggest? I'll be getting x plus 1 when x is odd. So can I say this part is always be even? Comment में बताइए. If x is odd, then according to the function, it will be x plus 1, right? So that will always be even, right? But here we are getting odd, right guys? ठीक है? That simply means that if I'm getting 19, which is an odd, it must have come from this portion of the function wherein x is even. यहाँ पे x की जगह t ले लिया हो ना, just to make you understand, है ना? Otherwise confusion हो जाता है. यहाँ पे अपना f of x दिया हुआ है इसलिए. Right? So can I say the value of t has to be 38, then only if I want to figure out what is f of 38, then I'll be moving this part of the function because 38 is an even number, and with this 38 divided by 2, I'll be getting it 90. I hope you all are getting it. Right? ठीक है ना? So now I can be very sure that this much portion, if I assume it to be t, then f of t is equal to 19. T, the value of t would be what? 38. Yes or no? So we can say that f of x is equal to 38. This entire thing I assume it to be t. Yes or no? ठीक है, अब देखो ये even आ गया. Now this is even. So when are we getting even? When x is odd. Can I get even when x is even? Can I get the value of the function to be even when x is even? Yes. For example, if I take the value of x to be 4, which is an even, the corresponding value of the function would be what? 4 by 2, again 2. So to get even, there are both the possibilities. It could be either the second part or it could be either from the first part. But अगर odd होगा तो वो first part से ही आया होगा. Yes or no? ठीक है. So let us take two cases. Let us take two cases that it came from the first portion. So first portion, x by 2 would be 38, right? So that means the value of x, if I talk about the value of x, then it has to be double of 38, which is what? 76, if I'm not wrong. वही होता है ना भाई? Sorry. ठीक है? And if I assume it to come from this portion, then 38, the value of 38 would be x plus 1. In that case, the value of x would be 37. Right? Now here the x means what? F of x, right? Here x means f of x, because ये अंदर की चीज है ना, f of x निकाल लेते हैं हम. ठीक है? So again the same iteration process we have to follow. Now we have f of x, either it is equal to 76 or f of x is equal to 37. We know that when it is odd, it came from the first part only. So thereby we can say that the value of x would be how much? The value of x would be double of it, right? Which is what? 74. If x is 74, then definitely f of x would be 37. यहाँ की दो possibility बनती है. अगर first वाले से आया होगा, then the value of x would be double of it, which is how much? 76, 152 आ जाएगा, right? And if it is from this portion, then the value of x would be 75. So here we can see that the value of x has three possibilities. ठीक है? अब इसको थोड़ा सा एक बोलते हैं ना कि क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा सा पीछे जाके देखो, एक retrospectively. Does this question ask about any concept, any specific concept for function? It's definitely no. ठीक है? You should just know how to interpret the format in which the questions are written. That's it. And that's make these questions easy, as I said. They might be time consuming, but that make these questions easy. जिसमें बहुत कोई नॉलेज की जरूरत ना हो, सिर्फ मैकेनिकल काम हो, तो डेफिनेटली वो चीज इजी हो जाती है. टाइम के हिसाब से डिपेंड करेगा वेदर यू वांट टू टेक दोस क्वेश्चन इन द टेस्ट और नॉट. एंड दे आर फेवरेट आल्सो. ठीक है? आई रिपीट, दे आर फेवरेट आल्सो. राइट गाइस? किसी को कोई डाउट तो नहीं है इसमें? चलिए, सो नाउ लेट्स कम टू दैट पार्ट जिसके लिए मैं आपको बोल रहा था कि आज के सेशन का एक स्पेशल चीज होगा फॉर many of you. ठीक है? I'm not saying that this is the thing which I only know. It is well known fact, but there are many people who still are not aware about these things. ठीक है? And that is questions many times are in these format. ठीक है? ये क्वेश्चन दिख रहा है आप लोगों को, ये दोनों क्वेश्चन. Can you see these two question guys? ठीक है? तो ऐसे क्वेश्चन में बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है कई बार. ठीक है? कई बार ये बहुत इजी भी होते हैं, कई बार बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है. सो इन क्वेश्चंस को टैकल करने के लिए there are certain well-known facts which, if you remember, it's going to make things very easy. तो ये 5 चीजें आपको याद रखनी है। आप चाहो तो इसका स्क्रीनशॉट लेके रख लो, ठीक है, या नोट करके रख लो, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है। अब ये क्या चीज है, इसके डेरिवेशन में नहीं जाएंगे, बिकॉज एज आई सेड यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट इट सेज दैट इफ द फंक्शन is arranged in this particular format, which is what f of x into f of 1 by x is equal to f of x plus f of 1 by x. In that case, f of x is in this format, that is x to the power n plus minus 1. ठीक है, सो थोड़ा सा एज्यूम करो इसको कि आपको ये मालूम है, ठीक है, देन यू कैन इजीली सॉल्व क्वेश्चन लाइक दिस। चाहे क्वेश्चन स्किप हो गया, just a minute guys, let me just fetch one question skip हो गया। ये ले लेते हैं, ठीक है। इफ यू नो दिस देन यू कैन सॉल्व दीज क्वेश्चन इजीली, ठीक है। मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, थोड़ा सा आपको टाइम दे रहा हूँ जस्ट टू फिगर आउट दैट कैन यू फाइंड द रिलेशन बिटवीन फर्स्ट नोन फैक्ट विद दिस क्वेश्चन और नॉट, ठीक है। सो आई विल गिव यू अ मिनट टू सॉल्व दिस, ठीक। इन दिस everything is given, we don't have to find the value of f of x, rather the question is that we have to find the value of f of 10. ओके, चलो तो इस क्वेश्चन को एक बार एनालाइज करते हैं। नाउ सपोज यू डोंट नो द फैक्ट व्हिच वी जस्ट डिस्कस, देन डेफिनेटली इट्स क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट to get f of 10 just by knowing f of 3 is equal to 28, because क्या करते हैं लोग, normally they put the value of x to be 3, right? So you'll be getting this thing f of 1 by 3 is equal to f of 3 plus f of 1 by 3. Thereby by putting the value of f of 3 to be 28, you'll be getting the value of f of 1 by 3. But our objective is to get f of 10, and 10 has right now doesn't seems any connection with 1 by 3, ठीक है। तो वो एक लूप में फंस जाता है और बार बार वही चीज आने लग जाती है, एंड you don't get the value of f of 10, ठीक है, unless you do manipulation of highest level, I would say, ठीक है। Now what I said is that if the function is in this particular format, then f of x is in this form, ठीक है। तो आप इसको ध्यान से देखो, f of x into f of 1 by x is equal to f of x plus f of 1 by x, ऐसा दिया हुआ है, and f of 3 is equal to 28. So the value of f of x has to be in the format x to the power n plus minus of 1. Once you figure out this, then things become very easy. आपको करना क्या है, f of 3 would be equal to what, 3 to the power n plus minus 1, and this as per the question is what, 28. Now it is quite easy to identify that the value of n would be what, 3, and we have to take the value plus here rather than minus. So we can adjust the function f of x, and that would be what, x cube plus of 1. तो आपको डायरेक्ट फंक्शन मिल गया, आप देखो कितना इजी हो गया ये, ठीक है। अब सीधा सीधा क्या पूछा है, f of 10 पूछा हुआ है, देन f of 10 is straight away 10 cube plus 1, which is what, 1001, and that would be your answer straight away. तो आप कंपेयर करके देखो कि अगर आपको वो नॉलेज वो फैक्ट मालूम नहीं है, vis-a-vis if you know the fact, just compare the effort it will take to solve these questions, ठीक है guys. So again ऑल दीज 5 आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट इसमें भी अगर मैं बोलूँ तो फर्स्ट वन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, सेकंड वन इज इंपॉर्टेंट, और ये वाला, ये तीन इंपॉर्टेंट, देखो सभी ऑल 5 आर इंपॉर्टेंट, बट स्टिल इफ यू जस्ट वांट टू आस्क कि इनमें से भी कौन से इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो फर्स्ट सेकंड एंड फिफ्थ वन आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, डोंट फॉरगेट दैम। अदरवाइज ऐसे कुछ क्वेश्चंस आएंगे तो वो नहीं हिलने वाले, फिर एग्जाम में तो नहीं हिलेगा। ठीक है, चलिए, I'll give you these two questions and I'll give you 2 minutes to solve them. ठीक है, मैं 2 मिनट का टाइम देता हूं, आप ये दोनों क्वेश्चन 3 मिनट का टाइम ले लो, चलो ठीक है, टेक 3 minutes, attempt both these questions. I'll be on mute. Okay guys, answer for the first question is 63, everyone is getting right, ठीक है. What about the second one? First is quite straightforward, right? How do we solve such question? We straight away start with putting the values. ठीक है, ये relation दिया हुआ है functions का. So we can start with, since we need to find the value of f of 3, we can take the value of x to be 1 and the value of y to be 2. Let's start with this. ठीक है? In that case, what happen is that f of 3 would be equal to what? F of 1 plus f of 2 plus f of 1 into f of 2, right? Now we know that the value of f of 1 is 3, but we don't know the value of f of 2. For that, what we should be doing is that let us take the value of x and y both to be 1 and put in the same function so that we get the value of f of 2. So here we can see that if I put x and y both equal to 1, then f of 2 would be equal to f of 1 plus f of 1 plus f of 1 into f of 1. ठीक है, ये सब 3 दिया हुआ है. ठीक है, which comes out to be how much? I think 15. So f of 2 is 15. Now we can put the value of f of 1 and f of 2 respectively in this equation to get the corresponding value of f of 3. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत easy हो गया, एकदम मैकेनिकल क्वेश्चन है. देखो 3 plus 15 plus 3 into 15. So this is how much? 45, and this will make it 60 plus 3. So the answer is 63. Straightforward, very simple. Within a minute we can get the answer. ठीक है? I think all of you should be in a position to solve such question अगर इस साल कैट दे रहे हो तो. ठीक है? Now the second question looks very similar to the first question. ठीक है? Now let us try to apply the similar logic here. ठीक है, एक बार अप्लाई करके देखते हैं similar logic. So here we need to find the value of f of 5. ठीक है, we know the value of f of 2. So f of 5 और 2 put up करेंगे तो ये 10 हो जाएगा, है ना? So there will be 3 things, guys: f of 2, f of 5 and f of 10. Yes or no? If I take the value of x to be 2 and y to be say 5, then f of x into y will make it f of 10. तो 3 चीज आ जा रही है. इसके पहले में सिर्फ 2 ही चीज आ रही थी हर एक इक्वेशन में. In all the equation we are getting only 2 different things. But here if I put directly 2 and 5 respectively, then we are getting 3 different things, right? So let us try to figure out what is the pattern. ठीक है, जब वो काम नहीं करता तो next thing which we try to figure out is that what is the pattern in which the things are moving. So we want to figure out what is the value of 1. So we can take the value of x to be 1 and the value of y to be 2. So thereby we'll be getting this equation, right? So it will be f of 2 minus of 2. ठीक है? So f of 2 is 5, so this is 5 times of f of 1, and this is f of 1. This is 5 plus 5 is 10 minus 2 is 8, right? So f of 1 will be equal to how much? 2. ठीक है, तो f of 1 आ गया, f of 2 आ गया. If I can figure out the value of f of 3, then I can at least try to analyze the pattern in which the things are moving, right? So for f of 3, what should I do? Let me take the value of x to be 1 and the value of y to be 3. In that case, it will be f of 1 into f of 3, and here it would be f of 1 plus f of 3 plus this will also become f of 3 minus of 2, right? अब देखो यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या होगी. This is 2, so 2 times of f of 3. This is how much? 2 plus these two together will make it 2 times of f of 3 minus of 2. ये सब कैंसिल हो गया. We are not getting f of 3. Getting it? We can get the value of f of 4. ठीक है, f of 4 निकाल सकते हैं, f of 3 नहीं निकलेगा. तो ये भी एक तरीका है, लेकिन इसमें we are not getting one very important value which is f of 3. If it is known or if we can figure out what is f of 3, then things become easier, comparatively easier. ठीक है, इसलिए it's not necessarily that every time such questions can be solved easily as this question. ठीक है, कई बार ये काम करता है, बहुत बार नहीं भी करता है. ठीक है, so for that जो भी अभी आपको स्पेशल फंक्शंस के बारे में बताया था, will be applying that concept. ठीक है, वो तो खैर फैक्ट्स को अप्लाई करना है, बट बिफोर दैट यहाँ पे एक प्रैक्टिकल चीज मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, जो टिप्स है इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस के लिए, उसको ध्यान से सुनो. एंड दैट इज whenever you come across such kind of questions and one of the term is f of xy, ध्यान देना, I'm talking about f of x into y. You have to put the value of y to be 1 by x. ठीक है, if you come across these term in any function, substitute the value of y to be 1 by x. And this is the trick or tips to solve such questions. Now let's see what do we get. We'll be getting f of x into f of y is equal to f of x plus f of y plus f of x into y will become what? 1 minus of 2. ठीक है, देखो f of 1 की भी तो कोई, it will be a constant, right? So these two together will be some constant. ठीक है, now just figure out this. F of x into f of y. Now in the case of y, I should have written 1 by x guys. ठीक है, तो ये जो y लिखा है ना, इसकी जगह 1 by x होना चाहिए था. So this should have been f of 1 by x, and this is also f of 1 by x. Now just look at this, and I'll invite you to this special function. Can you figure out the first fact? Can I say both are same? F of x into f of 1 by x is equal to f of x plus f of 1 by x. Then the function is straight away in the format x to the power n plus 1. तो ये इसका ट्रिक है. ये अगर आपको ट्रिक नहीं मालूम है तो बहुत बार इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस नहीं बनेंगे. ठीक है, so straight away we can say that the function f of x should be in the form of x to the power n plus minus 1. Now we know that the f of 2 is what? 5. So 2 to the power n plus minus 1 is equal to 5. It is quite easy to identify that it should be in the form of this, right? Or we can say that the value of n would be 2, and instead of minus it would be plus. ठीक है, so we have identified straight away the value of x, which is 2 to the power n plus, sorry, x to the power 2 plus of 1. देखो कितना इजी हो गया अभी. अब आपको पूछा क्या है? f of 5. Straight away substitute the value of f of 5. So f of 5 would be what? 5 square plus 1, which is what? 26, and that is the answer. ठीक है भाई. So if you remember those, then such questions will be a cakewalk. And इन्हीं में से ही कुछ आएंगे ना, बस आपको फिगर आउट करना है. ये ट्रिक याद रखो. Whenever you come across f of x into y, ये करना है आपको. y is equal to 1 by x. You have to substitute y is equal to 1 by x. Yes, we can ignore it. Now anyway it will become 0. In the previous part we identified the value of f of 1 to be 2 ना, तो 2 minus 2 तो 0 हो जाता. Constant part can be ignored ना. We are getting a relation, and in this we identified the value of f of 1 to be 2. ये 0 हो जा रहा भाई, है ना. ठीक है, चलो. Okay, so let me just give a brief about the crash course for those people who are attending for the first time this session. So this crash course, this is the snapshot of the crash course. In the crash course, these are the things which you will be getting. We'll have the live session in LRDI, we have the live session in Quant, we have the live session in VRC. The link which is provided in the description, there we have also given what are the topics in which the live sessions will be held. Okay. Apart from that, you'll be getting 221 topic tests from Quant. Then verbal ability also you'll be getting topic tests somewhere around 210, and you'll be getting 15 sectional tests in Quant, LRDI and verbal, and you'll be getting 10 mock tests. All these things are included in the crash course. So that's why this is not just a live session, it's a crash course is live session plus the mock test series. Okay. For more details you can just go to the description. Just click the description and you'll know it. Okay guys, so let me invite you to this question, and I'm sure that now all of you should be able to solve this question. I'll give only a minute to solve it. ठीक है, अगर समझ में आ गया है then all of you can get the answer correctly. Please solve. Okay. We have been given the value of f of 3 to be 10, right? ठीक है. Now, many of you are asking about the constant term, तो उसको भी देख लेते हैं, ठीक है? Let us see. So let me put both the value of x and y to be 1, suppose, right? So in this, what do I get? F of 1 into f of 1, right? So this is this much, which is equal to what? 2 times of, in fact, this is 3 times of f of 1, I would say, right? Minus of 2. Can I say this is a quadratic equation? F of 1 whole square minus of 3 times of f of 1 plus of 2 is equal to 0. ठीक है. So can I say f of 1 would be equal to how much? Either it would be 1 or 2. Am I correct, guys? ठीक है ना. तो इस तरीके से हम निकाल सकते हैं ना, मतलब तो कांस्टेंट वाले टर्म जो आ रहा है ना उसके लिए उतना वरी मत करो. वो anyway the question is designed such that you'll be getting you should be in a position to figure out the relation, right? So here again you can see that if I put the value of f of if I take y is equal to 1 by x, then again I'll be getting the format which is f of x into f of 1 by x, which is equal to what? F of x plus f of 1 by x plus f of 1 minus of 2. ठीक है, हमने देखा था f of 1 was either 1 or 2. In this scenario it would be 2. ठीक है, so that these things get cancelled out and we'll be left with this much relation. And with this we can say that f of x would be x to the power n plus minus of 1. And using this we can figure out what could be the possible value of n, or plus होगा कि minus होगा. So f of 3 is 3 to the power n plus minus 1, and that is equal to 10. So straight away can we say that the value of n would be 2, and here it would be plus 1. So the value of f of x would be 3 to the power n plus of 1. Sorry, not 3 but x. X to the power n plus of 1. Sorry guys, x to the power 2 plus of 1. Sorry, the value of n is 2. ठीक है, आप देखो f of 1 की वैल्यू पुट करो, देखो 2 आ रहा है, वो कैंसिल हो जाएगा उससे. ठीक है, अब आप स्ट्रेट अवे पुट कर सकते हो द वैल्यू ऑफ f of 4. So f of 4 would be 4 square plus 1, which is what? 17. So 17 divided by 17, the answer would be 1. I hope you all are getting it, guys. ठीक है, और ये बहुत बार अपीयर हुआ इस टाइप की चीजें. And if you are not applying this way of solving and connecting these two, then definitely it's very, very difficult. ठीक है, चलिए, so let's move to the last question, guys. चलो, I'll give you a minute. I'll give you 2 minutes to analyze it. Please solve. Okay. Now this is an easy question. Even if you don't apply that in which format f of x would be if this portion is given, still you can solve this particular question, right? But as I said that if this part is changed and something else is given, and if you cannot figure out what will be the value of f of x, then there is a possibility that the question could become difficult. ठीक है, इसमें तो बहुत सिंपल है, because we can substitute the value of x and y both to be 1, है ना? अगर मैं सीधा निकालूं तो let me assume that the value of x and y both equal to 1. Then in this case it will be f of 2, which is equal to what? F of 1 into f of 1, which is what? 3 square. And if I want to find f of 3, then I can take the value of x to be 1 and y to be 2. In that case it would be f of 1 into f of 2, and thereby I'll be getting the value to be 3 cube. So here I'm getting that f of 1 is 3 to the power 1, f of 2 is 3 to the power 2, f of 3 is 3 to the power 3, so on and so forth. Now we have to figure out what will be the value of n. Now this simply means what? F of 1 plus f of 2 plus so and so forth till f of n, and that is equal to 120. We have to figure out the value of n. So here we can see that this is 3 plus 3 square plus 3 cube till it will be 3 to the power n, which is equal to 120. Since 120 is very close to 100, so n की value जो होगी 5 नहीं होगा ना, because 3 to the power 5 is over 100. So straight away we can substitute the value of n to be 4, and you will see that it is 3 plus 3 square plus 3 cube plus 3 to the power 4. If you find, then this would be equal. LHS और RHS बराबर हो जाएंगे, and thereby we can say that the value of n is equal to 4. ठीक है, एक GP में चल रहा है, ठीक है guys. But if you mark this thing, then from the previous this table, मैंने आपको जो not table but this thing ये जो बताया था, so here we can see that it was in the form of कहाँ गया वो, f of x plus ये वाला था ना, फोर्थ वाला था, oh sorry, फोर्थ या फिफ्थ में से ही कोई ना, नहीं सॉरी ये वाला था, सॉरी सेकंड वाला kx के फॉर्म में, ठीक. ठीक है, प्लस है माइनस है, इट वाज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ x टू द पावर n. हाँ ये फॉर्मेट में था, सॉरी गाइस. हाँ ठीक है, तो इसमें हम लोग आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं भी f ऑफ x किस फॉर्मेट में है, एंड देन हम स्ट्रेट अवे अगर फंक्शन पूछा होता तो हम निकाल सकते थे. मान लो f ऑफ 1 दिया हुआ है और हमको आपसे पूछता कि भाई फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ f ऑफ 10, तो हम स्ट्रेट अवे निकालते, हमको इतने तरीके से पूरा जाने की जरूरत नहीं रहती. ठीक है, so with this we have come to the end of the session. I hope you have got the idea that how to negotiate questions which are purely based on functions and are practically application based. ठीक है, so ऐसे ही questions आते हैं कैट में. मॉक में हो सकता है थोड़ा सा और डिफिकल्टी लेवल इसकी हाई हो, बट we can ignore those part because function, if it is not easy, then definitely it is not recommended that you should be solving in actual test. But in cat all the functions questions are close to moderate, easy to moderate थे. ठीक है, बहुत डिफिकल्ट नहीं होंगे, कोई एक आधी होगा तो बहुत एक्सेप्शन चीज है, बट वो easy to moderate होते हैं. The only thing is that you should be in a position to figure out the format in which f of x is there. ठीक है, so again एक मिनट, हाँ okay. So next class will be tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be having class on LRDI. ठीक है, तो LRDI की कल की क्लास आप अटेंड कर सकते हो. At least I'll be discussing about the optimization techniques. कल लूँगा या फिर उसके बाद वाला जो भी होगा, but optimization technique is one of the session of LRDI. So you can just subscribe this particular channel so that even if you miss the direct link which we provide, still you'll be getting the notification of any live sessions. This is the channel guys, Bodhi Prep. ठीक है, and for people who just want to have any query, they can ping me on this number 9518945201. ठीक है, Thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed this session and you gained something out of this session. ठीक है, although function थोड़ा सा boring होता है obviously, but I tried to keep myself in that particular domain जिससे कि question आएंगे, so you'll be having some fruit of whatever the time you are investing in this. ठीक है, thanks a lot. Please do provide any kind of feedback, good, bad, ugly, whatever. I'll try to implement those things if it is implementable in the coming sessions. ठीक है, thanks a lot. Good night.